Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is Simon with AvaTrade, and I'm welcoming everyone to our weekly webinar, Inside Circle Interactive Trading Conversations. I see some new faces. Welcome, everyone. So, we're starting our webinar. My name is Simon Friedman. A few things about myself, really quick. I've been trading professionally for the past almost 24 years. I started in June of 2000. As you know, the famous dot-com bubble burst. And since then, I've been excited about the markets. It's not an easy journey. After 11 years of intensive prop day trading, I moved into a less stressful way of trading and also started to mentor and educate traders about 11 years after doing that. And currently, I'm very happy. I have a great opportunity to work with our amazing customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, I see some familiar faces. I also see some new people. So for new people, very important to explain that we here to ask specific questions. And that was my idea because I do other webinar planning for the week, and my colleagues are doing other great presentations. And I just wanted to give this webinar as a stage for you guys that you can come and ask specific questions about specific markets. So you ask about a certain stock, certain commodity or index or anything else. And we'll discuss it and we'll take a look at the chart. If I know any fundamentals, I'll be happy to share. Also, I see more people today. Maybe the time change helped because we left it as it was at 5 GMT. So he moved it an hour later everywhere else. So I think it works better for you. Actually, everyone here, if you could just type a few words, if this is a good time for you. Apparently, it's better. I have more attendance. It looks like it. Okay. So if this works, when we reach winter time, maybe we'll keep it around this time, which is 6 p.m. London time, 5 p.m. GMT. Okay. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. Of course, we do not recommend any trades here. We discuss things, and it's purely educational. You have channels of AvaTrade. You have Telegram, X, or used to be a Twitter. And YouTube channel, as I always say, it's my favorite. And you can find a lot of great information here, including the webinars. So if you miss the webinar or you think you're going to miss the webinar, don't stress. You can always go back into the YouTube channel and locate that webinar and watch it at your convenient time. Okay, so we're going to move now to the terminal. This is MT4. Also, I have MT5 as it has more instruments. And I see already I have one question from Eric. I'm going to address it in a moment. So, guys, again, especially for new people and existing people as well, please feel free to ask questions. We have up to an hour. So a lot of times we have to wrap it up sooner because we run out of questions, and I think it's a waste of time. And again, I have to be honest with you, I'm not making up questions just to hold me here. I'm very passionate about this. Trading is my life. It's my addiction. I can openly state that. A good one. I've been doing it, like I said, almost 24 years. So when I have a chance to help others and help them understand things, I really have a lot of energy. So this is very selfish for me. And let's squeeze the last minute out of it. Okay, so let's ask a lot of questions. And we'll be going up to an hour. And I hope that we have tons of questions. And the best case scenario for me is when we run out of time and we didn't answer some questions, as opposed to me begging you for them. Okay, so again, if I do know any fundamentals, I'll be happy to share them with you. I know a lot of fundamentals because, like I said, every Sunday I'm doing a market planning for the upcoming week. It's the webinar that you can find as well. You can attend it as well. So I go through a lot of news, fundamentals, and so on. Okay, so Eric, thank you for your question. Eric is starting today with the question, can we look at oil? How high will it go? It reminds me of a joke when not a joke, but a real life situation. As I said, I started to trade in June of 2000 when everything was falling, and it was a slogan in the office: short everything with 4 letters, because we used to trade only Nasdaq at that time. So sometimes people would ask, how low can it go? And we always used to joke, it cannot go lower than 0, which in some cases it could. I don't know how. If you remember oil a while ago, the futures on oil went briefly below 0. It's still kind of science fiction for me, but I think that explained it. It was cheaper to, or it was more expensive to store the oil than the price was, which is really, really weird. Okay, so how high can it go? It could be anything, and as promised, I have some information about it. I researched it on Sunday. Few things. Oil has been going up, and I'm going to add another reason that is happening as well. So, 2 reasons: high demand. It's driven by high consumer spending. As you know, as consumers are buying, there's more planes flying, more trucks running, and so on, deliveries and so on. So the demand side of oil is really increasing. Also, supply. Back in March, which is last month, Russia announced that they'll be cutting production by another 471,000 barrels a day. So that also cuts supply. Also, we're not so clear what's happening with Venezuela. There's a lot of issues there, and the U.S. kind of agreed, or they lifted the ban on production there. So I think Chevron is the biggest company doing oil recovery there. And we still don't know what's going to happen when the elections come and so on. So it looks like a double impact, as I like to call it. We have a high demand and, again, fear of low supply. But over here, as you could see, we are coming to this level here. Again, I just want to step back for a moment. We'll explain what I'm trying to do here is really to give you tools to learn how to analyze the markets. So if you want to learn a little bit better, it's always good to step back a little bit. And I like to use this example when you come to the museum. I used to go when I lived in New York to Metropolitan Museum of Art, and there are a lot of huge works there on walls. So you can't really appreciate it unless you step really back all the way and you see the whole painting. So here as well. So we go to the monthly chart and we try to understand what's happening here. This is the famous, I think, 2020 when the oil went down. Here it shows the lowest of 653, and we went March of 2022, about 2 years ago, we hit 130.5. So then we had a nice correction here. We came a double bottom. This is a monthly chart, right? So the reason you want to know, you want to see a huge move to the upside, then you have a correction to the down to the previous levels. Obviously, it's not precise numbers. Then we broke up again 4 months straight above the previous high over here. Then we made a higher low, which could be a sign of reversal. And since then, we are on the way up 4 straight months to the upside. So if we do continue higher, if this continues, we might come and retest this high of September of last year, which is 95.02. Okay, that could be possible. Another thing, you could actually, some traders like to do it, you could draw a trend line just to give you a little bit of visual, right? You connect the two tops and take a look. We did break through this trend line there. So that's the weekly chart. And as you could see, 4 straight weeks to the upside. And back to daily chart, we're going to minimize it again. We are coming to the level where 3 days in a row, we tried to break to the upside on October 27th, and we're still kind of fighting that, right? Now, and the third reason, so we had the high demand, we had a fear of low supply. I'm not sure if supply is really low, maybe just the fear. And also, recently, China has been recovering after this accumulation here. We've been going up as the government there is taking serious measures into injecting funds into the economy. So recently, we've been trying to break the previous resistance from November of last year. We tried here mid-March, and then we just tried again March 21st, and then we tried again as of April 1st. So we are sitting on that level. So if China will push through and continue going higher, which it has a potential, then it would be another reason for oil to go higher. China is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, user of oil. U.S. is probably bigger, but U.S. is also producing it. China doesn't produce it; it's just buying it. So we might see that shoot up in China index, and oil could continue higher. All right. I think that's all I have to share with you with oil. BTC. I'll tell you the truth. BTC, it's a very exciting instrument, but it's not something that I can explain. Somebody was saying, the CEO of FTX just got 25 years in prison, and Bitcoin just made recently all-time high, right? We went to 73. So in Bitcoin, again, let's take a look. Technically speaking first, so we're going to connect these few spikes to the downside. We are above all the moving average. We did have a very strong move to the upside, and we hit that all-time high, 73 and a half, a little bit higher than that. Then we went lower, right? Then we went higher. We failed to go and retest that high again. And now, yesterday was a big sell-off, and today we're a little bit in the green. So few things could happen. We can go retest the highs, or we can retest the recent. We just have to take one day at a time here. Fundamentally speaking, all this big move, first it was buy the rumor, sell the news. When they said that they announced that they'll come with the ETFs, and there are a few of them right now. So initially market went up, then it went into correction, and then we went higher again. So it's fundamentally speaking, there's also something coming. I don't understand fundamentals on Bitcoin. I'm not even trying. Please forgive me for that. But there's something they call halving. So they said that should move the coins higher. You can research it. I really don't know, but they say somewhere in April they might push it higher here. If not the all-time high, I would really watch, if you are a Bitcoin trader, watch the recent resistance, the last one we had here. There's a lot of attempts with tails here at the highs around 71 and a half thousand, and take this recent correction to the low to 60 and a half thousand. So it's about 11 or between 10 to 12,000 range, which is a big range. Again, we might hear some fundamentals. We might hear some positive or negative fundamentals into it. But technically speaking, we just made all-time high. It could be a healthy correction before they move higher. We still didn't officially move into downtrend. We just had so far a lower high, but not the lower low. So we're still in an uptrend here, right? That's all I have to say about Bitcoin. Okay. Mr. Koti is asking, I hope pronounced the name. I think he just left anyway. And yeah, he's asking how effective is to do copy trading. I'm not going to address that question. First of all, he's not here. He left. Second of all, it's not the topic of this webinar. Okay. Alex is asking, is this crude oil or there another variant? If not, would it be better to put a long position in now and hold? Alex, please specify your question. I don't really understand what you're asking. Eric, you're welcome. Guys, let's bring up more questions. We're doing great. We're about 17, 18 minutes into the webinar. We still have plenty of time. And please feel free to ask your questions. And also, as I always mention, some people will be watching it in recording on YouTube. So let's use this opportunity to do a favor for them, because when you're watching on YouTube, there's no way you can ask questions, right? Here we're in a live webinar, so your questions will be helping a lot of people that will be reaching out and watching this on YouTube, okay? Okay, Olu, thank you. I'm going to read your question now. Hi, Simon. What's happening at USD today after the ADP non-farm employment change news? USD went stronger, and how can trader prepare for this news for the forecast proactively? Good question. First of all, let's explain what ADP is. You have two major reports on employment. One is ADP. They're two separate agencies. ADP is reporting on Wednesday, and then you have NFP, which is probably the most important announcement of the month. Usually, now maybe CPI and other inflation related probably has been more important. But again, just step back. Market's been focusing a lot on Feds and Powell's decisions and Powell's speeches and Powell's press conference. Powell is the chair of the Feds, right? So to understand, we need to remind ourselves three aspects that the Federal Reserve, what they looking at in their decisions. They look at the situation of the economy that's being reflected in many things. GDP is one of them, the gross domestic product, and how the general economy is doing. Secondly, is how the employment doing, how many jobs were added, what's the unemployment level. And the third, which has been the most important one, is how the inflation is doing, because their goal is to bring inflation to 2%. So that's why the employment data is very, very sensitive. And here we come to understanding why dollar is very sensitive, because if the Feds are meeting their goals and they achieved what they're trying to achieve, a little bit cool down in employment, a little bit cool down in inflation, and a little bit maybe cool down in stability and economy, then they might start that cutting the rates process, which not originally, but until the recent upticks in the inflation, everybody was hoping that March would be the first time that they cut the rates, since the last two reports had high inflation than expected. So now it's kind of a pushed or priced in for the June meeting. And that means if they cut the rates, that would bring a potentially weakness to the US dollar, right? So when you take a look, the dollar index here, where are you, dollar index? Here we go. So in the last 2 days, it's been selling, and it's really. I spoke about it in my Sunday's webinar, and I said that we might this week go and retest this previous high from February, the high 104.83, and take a look. Yesterday, we were a penny shy of that level, and then we went down again, and we're retesting this 104.15 today. We broke. So it could be that the data is kind of in favor to the markets, and that means that the Feds could be on their course of cutting the rates, and that's why the dollar reacting to it. And technically, you see it makes sense. It came and retested resistance. It didn't go any higher. So now it could probably go and find some kind of support or continue lower, maybe around the 50 and the 200 moving average around here. All right. So, but again, ADP, it's kind of preliminary data. The major employment data is coming on Friday, 8:30 a.m. New York time, usually it does, and it's first Friday of the month. And ADP, the traders and analysts are paying attention to it. Sometimes it reflects or gives an idea how NFP numbers could be, but it not always matches. Sometimes ADP shows something that NFP doesn't support at all, and it could be the opposite. So that's your answer on US dollar. I hope it works. Okay, US Tech 100. Sergio is asking, would you expect to remain going up, and will it cool a bit until the interest rate US are reduced? Sergio, a good question. And your second part contradicts with the first part of the question, because should they cut the rates, the market is actually hoping for it. So that would be a positive. If tomorrow by surprise they'll say we're cutting the rates, it could be potentially that US 100 would continue higher, because the big companies are borrowing a lot of money, and the low interest is much better for them than the high one. Okay, so let's take a look at US Tech. If you're watching US Tech, which is Nasdaq 100, you should be following a few stocks that kind of moving it a lot. Number one's been doing this year, I think, until a few days ago, NVIDIA has been up more than 80% on the year. So this is your Nasdaq here, right? We just made yesterday, we attempt to make all-time high, we had the spike up and then we went lower. So if you wanna watch NVIDIA, that I'm gonna bring the MT5. Here's your NVIDIA. The charts look a little bit alike. We had a high on NVIDIA March 8th. Then we had another attempt. We got a little bit short of it, and then we've been selling a little bit. So that's one of the stocks. Of course, Microsoft, Apple, something that used to call FANG stocks, right now they call them Magnificent Seven, which is Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, NVIDIA, Tesla. So 7 major stocks that are part of Nasdaq. So here's Nasdaq today. We in red. Sorry, we were 2 days in red. Today we're bouncing a little bit since the ADP numbers, and also Powell is speaking today. Maybe he already spoke. I don't remember exactly what time that speech is, or speaks a little bit later. But it looks like market is bouncing today a little bit. So definitely, we're waiting for that NFP numbers. It will give us a little bit more of understanding where we stand as far as the employment and unemployment data. And we might continue higher, or we might trigger that sell-off in the market as you know, the numbers are coming out. Okay. Alex is asking, would it be better? First of all, guys, thank you very much that you are not letting me beg for the questions. So please prepare more questions as we go. And I'm very excited about it. Thank you very much. So Alex is asking, would it be better to buy now on crude oil and take a long position and wait for news on China? Or do you think the bullish market won't last? I really, first of all, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you, because it's not allowed to recommend anything. So let's get that straight. It depends what you want to do. It depends how much money you have and what portion of that money you want to put on the table. Again, China has been recovering or trying to recover for a long time. there's mixed news. On one side, the Chinese government, they are trying to improve things. On the opposite side of the equation, there's a lot of information that the real estate issues that they have, they start really affecting the banking system. So we don't really know. We could have a nice recovery, we could have a bust of some banks, as we had in 2008 in the US, which caused a global uh, problem economically. So it's your decision, and if you do choose to buy and hold, you as a trader, I can tell you one thing: all your actions have to be calculated. There's nothing wrong of buying and waiting for it to go higher, or selling short and expecting a fall and capitalizing on that. As long as you cannot predict the market, but the only control you have, it's over your losses, and your risk management should be your priority, risk and money management. So if your action that you're planning is supported by a detailed calculation, and you know how much you're risking if you're wrong, and you hope to make a multiple of that on the upside, uh, it shouldn't be a problem. But it's up to you. It's up to you. Again, it could be China. It could be things are getting very hot in the Middle East. As you know, the Syrian embassy of Iran was bombed, and Iran is threatening Israel. They will retaliate. So things, as you know, with the Gaza war and everything else, and uh, it could be things get. I hope not. I really pray to God that things will cool down. But in this world, war with Russia, Ukraine is affecting things geopolitically. Middle East is affecting us. It's a classic scenario that normally, if as in the past, Middle East was the first producer, number one producer of oil. So if we were still back in the 70s and 80s and maybe 90s, oil would have been now at, I don't know, 120, 130, 150. But as you know, U.S. is producing a lot. Canada is producing. So U.S. learned the lesson. It's not solely uh, relying on the Middle East oil. So all those things together, we don't know. As I said, hopefully all the wars will be done tomorrow. But that's my wishful thinking, and we really don't know what will trigger move up or down. So just focus on opportunities that you can calculate your risk. I hope it works or helped. Okay. Emmanuel is asking, can explain what is the swap during the process of buy and sell? Uh, I'm going to wait for next question. I don't have one, so that's why I'm going to answer. Otherwise, guys, please line up the questions on the specific markets. Um, First of all, you can ask specifics with your account manager, but the idea is very simple. When you trading CFDs, you're trading on margin, you're borrowing the money. So swaps are very simple financial charges. If you go to the bank, you take a loan, you pay, I don't know, 10, 12, 20, whatever the deal you have, APR, which is the annual percentage. So swaps are calculated the same way. Depends on the instrument. If it's currency pair, there are two interests of both currencies, both countries, and it's being calculated. So every day you're being charged swap. Basically, it takes the annual percentage interest and it's divided by 360. So each day that you hold the position overnight, uh, it's being added a fraction of that percentage. On some days, on some instruments, you have on Wednesday, it's a triple charge because the weekend it's not being added. On some, it's Friday. So you can learn about it. You can actually go to the website and you can type overnight swaps or swaps charges, and it will be explained there. Okay. Okay. Masibuela is back asking, how effective is it to copy trading? Is it trustworthy? You're asking the same question. Again, I don't have any market questions, which I hope I will be getting. Guys, please be creative, be attentive, ask the questions. Meanwhile, I'm going to answer this. Copy trading, it's a great tool if you're busy and if you're lucky to find either provider that you can copy or a robot that can copy or whatever it is. It could be good, but when you go to copy trading, um, you have to make sure that if it fits your risk level, if it fits your interest, you have to look through the history of the person or the machine that you're copying from, and see if it works for you. Like I said, if you're lucky to find a provider that you can copy from and it's a steady profit, I mean, it's no brainer. You can just enjoy it. This is really passive income, but you need to find if it's really worth for you. You're asking if it's trustworthy. You're the only one that can answer the question. That's why uh, you have to do really good due diligence. And even again, the famous saying that the past results don't guarantee future results, right? So you can try if you'd like. But still, even in copy trading, it's good if you understand what's happening so you can learn from that and you can analyze things. All right. Okay, guys, we're doing good. We're about 33 minutes. And I hope I don't need to beg. Oh, Sergio, thank you. Gold is going real high. What could be the reason? How the price affected U.S. interest rates? Beautiful question. Gold actually, as we speak, making all-time highs. And whoever bought gold are happy campers, and whoever sitting in short positions are super stressed. So again, I prepared for my webinar on Sunday, and I did research on gold, and I asked the same question. How come the market is making all-time highs, the dollar has been holding strong, and the gold is going higher? So gold has two qualities. It's an inflation instrument. So the gold buyers are trying to, and it's been going for hundreds of years, they're trying to protect themselves against inflation. In many countries, there was a devaluation of value of the money, physical money. I think Soviet Union experienced it a few times. Venezuela and other many countries had huge inflation. Turkey today, inflation is huge there. Really, you can name tons of countries. So by holding gold, a person protects himself against inflation, because if you bought gold and the local money kind of went down in value, you can sell the gold again and have more for more cash, or you can barter it. You can buy other things. You can go abroad and sell it for local currency of their country. There are many things. Also, as you know, it's a safe haven when the the things are not so great. If there's a war, there's a issue in the country or in the world, also money go into gold. And so these are obvious things. But over the weekend, there was someone interviewed, and he said that actually a lot of physical gold is being bought by many central banks as they're trying to really hedge themselves against inflation as well. So I think that could be the main reason currently, because inflation is kind of cooling down. Markets are high; they're not really crashing. If we had crashing markets, then maybe the gold would be running. So if those aspects are not affecting the gold, so it could be that physical buying that the person, I don't remember his name, it was one of the analysts talking that a lot of countries, the central banks of those countries are buying physical gold. Okay, so Again, if anybody asks how high can it go, analysts are predicting different things. Some even say 3,000 at some point. I mean, it could be anything. We'll be watching these things, right? All right. Eric is asking, Tesla's going down, seems to have some problems. Yeah, yes, the latest problem of Tesla is actually, I think they sold, the last report shows they sold, don't remember the number, please don't quote me. Yeah, I think it's 200,000 vehicles less than they promised. And I think if you compare with last year, it's 10% less. I think this is the last thing that I've read about Tesla. So here we go. It doesn't look good. It was a recent recovery here for two reasons. This recovery with the gap happened. First, they dropped the prices, lowered the prices in US and Europe. And second, they found this marketing trick. I call it marketing trick. That the self-driving technology or software that's being sold separately, it's kind of membership, I think. I don't know how it works. So they just kicked in a promotion that you have 1 month free, the first month free, and then you can decide. So that initially added some excitement to Tesla stock, but then was sold again. So the sales are lower. Still, I think Tesla is doing well, but they have a huge competition from China and I think South Korea. And also there were a lot of sayings there that some analysts said that they hope that Tesla gets a real CEO. They don't really like Musk for some reason. I understand them. I love Musk. He doesn't care about money. He just likes the progress and he adds value into the world. So, yes, he lost a lot of money on this drop recently, and Tesla is down this year. As I said, Nvidia is up 80-something%. Apple is also down this year as well. So that's on Tesla. Tesla has a tendency to sell, and then something else will happen. But it's a tough market, electrical vehicle. It's a huge competition, and new participants are coming to the market. So let's see what's next there. Okay. 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 Mr. Bell is asking, what is going to happen to gold and major currency when interest rates are cut on June? What must we expect as traders? You see, a lot of those things already priced in, and it depends how much the cut will be. I mean, they expect a 0.25% cut in June. I mean, we have plenty of time till June. Gold can be somewhere in the skies until then. What to expect? I tell you the truth, honest truth. Nobody knows what to expect because sometimes things just are not logical. So we really don't know, and it includes a lot. I mean, we're living this world. If somebody told you 4 years ago that Ukraine will be attacked by Russia, and there's going to be this huge war in Israel, and it's going to be a mess everywhere else, politically and otherwise. I mean, especially, I tell you about myself. I was born in Ukraine. That was Soviet Union back then. So for me, I take it personally. And even though I left that country in '91, right after the Soviet Union collapsed, if somebody told me back, there's a joke, not a joke, it's a very sad joke. In the Second World War, Soviet Union was the major participant against the Germans and against the Nazis. So of course they destroyed the Nazis. They went to Berlin and put that flag on top of Reichstag in May of 1945. So there's a joke circulating now that said that those Soviet veterans of the war, they will be really in shock when the Germany is trying to convince Russia not to fight Ukraine. You understand? So why am I bringing this example? The world's a little crazy, so we don't know what's going to happen back then. It could be that interest is going to price already priced in, and it's not going to be anything major. It could be they will shock us with no cuts. It could be they will shock us with the extra cuts. So it's hard to plan anything long term. That's why most of the traders are really trying to be smart and trade here and there. Try to, yeah, there's a lot of positional traders as well. Some of them are building those positions. Some are hedging themselves with other things, and so on. It depends. It depends. But to say clearly what's going to happen, I don't think anybody can. All right. Alex is asking, is the minimum amount you need in your account to trace with gold? I mean, I'm not going to answer the question. You need to know how much you want to trade, and you need to know how much money you need. You can calculate it. Our web trader or the mobile app is really great for that, for beginners. So you can actually see if you enter that position, you can see before you buy how much money you need. It gives you an idea precisely how much will that position use out of your equity as a needed margin. Okay. Again, you're asking here if you don't have a lot of funds. You need to adjust. It's very simple. If you have limited funds, you need to find something that you can trade freely. If you want to trade something bigger, you need to adjust your funds. There are two ways to go about it. Otherwise, there's also a joke about if you start hoping and praying in the trade, that means you are over leveraged. So you need to be comfortable when you trade. Because I think most of the traders, and I speak from experience, when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're worried about a trade. It's very simple. You are over leveraged. You're not trading. You're panicking. You are emotional. That's why I'm always stressing to the people that I talk to, you need to have enough funds to trade what you want, or you adjust to the funds you have and trade accordingly. This way you'll have peace of mind. And when you have peace of mind, your brain actually can function. But if you're worried about that each tick and you micromanage it and you're stressful and you're watching your margin going ticking down and you can't trade because you're below 100% and so on, that's not trading. That's putting out the fires. So I think we're going to try to wrap it up here, but I'm going to continue what I'm saying now. You have to be smart as a trader. You have to also function in your life as a trader. Again, I'm speaking from experience. Your trading should not affect your life in a negative way. That means you should have time for your family. You should have time for yourself. You should not take that anger on your people that are close to you because it's very dangerous. And to reach that level, you need to be comfortable. Okay, you need to calculate. You talk to your account managers, and if you need help, they'll be happy to help you understand things, how you manage your risk. What other traders do to limit their potential losses and so on. Yes, it changes the whole thing. When you can wake up in the morning and you're not worried about your trades, and you're not waking up each 5 minutes to watch what you do because you didn't put any stops, because you didn't plan your trades. That's what I say on my Sunday webinars all the time. You plan your trade and then you trade your plan. There's no guarantee of your success. Like I said, you cannot guarantee how much money you make, but you should be guaranteeing how much money you allow yourself to lose. All right, guys? I think that's a very, very important message. And if you follow that, you should be improving your trading. You should be improving your lifestyle as well. All right? I want to thank everyone. Okay. Alex is asking, can I speak to my account manager through AvaTrade? Of course, if you do have an account manager, you reach out to them. Absolutely. Absolutely. They'll be happy to help you. We'll have a lot of customers. Might not happen right away, but we do love to help. This is our job, and we're very happy. Yeah, Alex, of course, you can do that. All right, guys, it's been a great experience tonight. Uh, we'll see all of you next Wednesday, and have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself.